Coming up on CT Sports Now, we're spanning the state, bringing you football highlights from all over the place. Can Naugatuck stay undefeated?
Speaking of undefeated, the defending Class L state champion Tigers of Daniel Hand showing good hands.
A new field, but same result for the Gales. Just some of the many games you'll see coming up now on CT Sports Now.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to CT Sports Now here on Vantage SportsNet on a fabulous Football Friday, and we are so excited to be here. We're so excited you are here to join us for what will be the best of our best. We're setting a new personal record.
If all
tonight
goes well, we'll have 19 games to the state. It's Mark Robbins, Noah Fins from our studios here at Sacred Heart University. Let's get right to it. Start with one of the top teams in the state that just keeps gaining more respect every day, and nothing that NEWTOWN High School did tonight is going to change that. Their neighbors from BETHEL coming over tonight. Well, NEWTOWN just doing what it does. Luke Malilo keeps it himself here. He goes in 5 yards for the score, and that was NEWTOWN's third score of the game, so it's 21-0. You got to get Dan Mason involved in the action, and, well, he's always going to find his way into the end zone. That's what he does here on the 32-yard run. NEWTOWN out in front, 28-0. Yeah, that'll get the fans up and going, but can you keep them interested? Well, as long as you're scoring, yes, you can keep them interested. First and goal for NEWTOWN. Mason, yeah, he even faked out the cameraman for a second on that play. 58-0. NEWTOWN showing off its wares, huh? 58-0. NEWTOWN and BETHEL will now have the week off. They have their byes coming up next week, but NEWTOWN a perfect 4-0.
Now to the home of the Panthers, Pomperog High School. The How Do You Do's, the Pleased to Meet Yous, hosting the Weston Trojans first quarter. James Getz of Weston on the screen to Chris Frubies, and Frubies is free and loose. 59 yards for the touchdown on that little screen pass, and Weston, the visitors, with a 7-0 lead. And the defense is going to try to make it stand up. Brendan Sawyer. Oh, big-time sack. As the Trojans defense coming through, but then Pomperog would respond. Answering the challenge, Troy Harrell to Jacob Oldham. That's a 49-yard gain. Deep into Weston territory, the Panthers would capitalize. You threw it to Oldham, now give it to him. 12 yards on the sweep, tying things up, and Pomperog at home goes on to get the win. The Panthers are back, folks. They're 3-1 overall, a 24-22 win over Weston.
Are you telling me they're out of pretzels? They're out of pretzels in Watertown.
No, can't be.
Oh, they finally found one. All right, the hardest working people in the stadium there. The food vendors doing a nice job raising some money. Hey, Naugatucks can score points at Watertown, but the defense is what you got to fear. That's the bread and butter. How about Zachary Kozlowski with that hit? The D sets up the O. Jaden Anderson cuts back. He's in for the 21-yard touchdown run. It's 22-0 Greyhounds at that point. Well, they can go through the air as well. Their quarterback, John Mezzo, can just flat out sling it. Watch his pass right on the money to Kozlowski. Oh, that's a touchdown. A 40-yard touchdown. 49-0 is your final score. The Greyhounds go out to 4-0. Get this. Outscored opponents 170-12 so far this season. Those 12 points by one team, by the way. Oxford is next. Watertown continues its very difficult schedule. We'll be at Ansonia. That'll be next Thursday night.
You know, Noah, I love our student contributors, but I am jealous of this one because Anthony Delavecchia of Sacred Heart right here, he got to go to one of my favorite spots tonight. I'm not going to give it away, but he had a really good matchup in the FCAC, didn't you, Anthony?
Guys, this was a great game. Staples undefeated coming into Ridgefield, and the Tigers lost their first, but now have won two. So they're looking for 3 in a row at home. Let's take you out to Tiger Hollow, where Ridgefield, the fans ready, the Tigers seem ready. Staples is ready. That's the quarterback, number 15. He's the junior Jake Thaw. He had a huge day and loves to run. He rushed one in there, 7-0 early. Ridgefield can't convert. Goes to the air. Dylan Ward, 6'2", 190. That'll help you. 14-0 Staples early. Look at you right now. The quarterback, it is Owen Matthews. Avoids the sack. Ridgefield getting them on the board. Brian Snowstead, the wide receiver, gives the fans something to cheer about. 14-7, but Staples, talk about the run, faked me out. Quarterback just keeps going, hits into his own teammate, and reaches They don't give it to him. It's at the 1, but luckily their running back, Tim Luciano, even bigger day, 2 touchdowns in the first half. That's his second. They would lead 28-10 at the half, go on to win it 35-17. Staples 4-0 now, playing Darien next week. Ridgefield 2-2, looking to bounce back. Their next game will be at home. Guys, back to you.
Wow, great stuff. Staples starting off the year at 4-0. Who would have thought it after the bit of controversy they had before the season started? That said, let's get into another FCAC team that is setting the world on fire.
Yeah, Greenwich ranked number 2 in the state, undefeated on the road, taking on a much improved Bear team from Norwalk. Greenwich in the first quarter, Michael Graber finding some room up the middle. He'll break a couple, 2, 3, maybe 4 tackles.
Whoa.
And going 41 yards for the first score of the ball game. All right, we'll move on now to the second quarter. And Greenwich quarterback, actually Jack Warren now breaking some tackles. He likes the room that he has found, getting into the end zone. A 25-yard run, 14-0 Greenwich. Now Gavin Muir looking over the middle to Stephen Bennett for the score. You get the idea. Greenwich is on a roll. Tyson Camizio through a big hole, breaks a tackle. He's in for another score. Yeah, Greenwich got a lot of touchdowns in this one, scored a bunch. Greenwich still undefeated after taking care of business against the Bears of Norwalk. Hitting the scoreboard, do we see a 55-0 finish for number 2 Greenwich.
All right, let's head out to Finn Stadium where they have the renovated field. The new turf is down. Shelton ready to play its first game there of the season. First quarter, quarterback Jake Roberts finds Paul Ferrigno. Yeah, call him the Hulk. He's into the end zone. Shelton leads 7-0. Next possession for the Gales. Giorgio Gazelle takes it right up the gut, and there he goes. Shelton up 14-0. We're still in the first. After Shelton comes away with a turnover, Roberts finds Ferrigno again in the end zone. Hauls it in. 6 minutes left in the quarter. Shelton up 21-0. Go ahead and cheer him on. There's plenty to cheer for. After another Shelton touchdown by Jack Carr makes it 28-0 in the second. Well, Jake Roberts bobbles a high snap, but is able to take it up the middle, finds a hole, finds the end zone. It was 35-0 still in the first half. Shelton goes on to win it going away 49-7 to improve to 4-0. The Shelton team can be so explosive, and when it's not, the defense finds a way to hold on. That's why they're undefeated. They have a bye before they play Massac on the road the following Friday. Guilford will be off next week as well before getting ready to take on Notre Dame Fairfield at home.
Notre Dame of West Haven taking on yet another undefeated team. That bunch of Hornets from Brantford. A lot of defense in the first half. For the Green Knights, that's Noah Ferrucci making the interception, ending a Brantford threat. And then right before the half, talk about a threat, Notre Dame of West Haven in the red zone, but Aiden McNeil says anything you guys can do, we can do as well. The interception in the end zone, 0-0 at the break, early third quarter. Notre Dame of West Haven gets the scoring going. Jackson Zielinski keeping it 12 yards. A touchdown for the Green Knights, and Notre Dame, with its offense coming alive in the second half, scores 33 and hands Brantford its first loss of the season. A 33-14 win. Notre Dame now 2-2 as Brantford falls to 3-1 on the season. Noah.
We're going to take a quick break. When we return, a long losing streak is over. That plus much more here on CT Sports Now. Welcome back to our studios at Sacred Heart University. How's Storrs this time of year, Mark?
You know, there's a high school up there besides the university.
That's right,
A
E.O.
lot of
Smith.
people-
Yep.
Yeah, and so we went to check out E.O. Smith, the home of the Panthers. Want proof? Well, here come the Panthers, hosting Maloney of Meriden, who want to dominate. Exactly. So the Spartans will do that early on defense. Big junior Trevor Santiago leading the defense. And on offense, they got a junior quarterback named Elliot Good. He's looking for his favorite receiver, the Space Cowboy. Well, some people just call him Maurice. Maurice Brackett on the 31-yard touchdown connection as Maloney jumps out to a big lead. And with the defense and the size on the defensive line, the Spartans' defense holding true. They're a salty bunch. Maloney gets the victory on the road. Nice win. 4-0 are the Spartans. 40-25 over E.O. Smith.
I think the Spartans are for real. Another team that's undefeated is Southington. Covering that big game tonight is our go-to guy, Daniel Zumpano. Daniel, show us what you got from this big CCC matchup.
Well, we got an interesting matchup here in the CCC as Southington finds themselves at 3-0, and they found themselves in the top 10 earlier this week. coming in at number 10. They'd have to prove it tonight against a 1-2 Hall team that looked a little upstartish today. Hall has not beaten the Knights since 2013, but they were giving them a game early 7-7, and all of a sudden the blocked punt comes out. But we got to open up our rule books here. Jake Beaupre is going to block the punt, scoop it up, gets down to the 1-yard line, but fumbles it, and it goes into the end zone. Hall recovers. Mike Drury can't believe it. They're calling a touchback, but it's okay because Southington would make up for it a few plays later. On defense, J.T. Martin, I'll take that, sir. That's a pick, and that would set up the Knights in very good field position, able to get it down to the 1-yard line eventually and hand it off to the Coltrane, Dylan Cole, the junior. Southington, a little bit of a struggle early, but they pulled this away in the end, a 37-7 victory over Hall. And we might be covering their game next week because they'll be playing an undefeated New Britain team while Hall will play East Hartford. All right, how about Berlin? They're humming at 3-0 as well. They're taking on Plainville, looking for their first 3-1 start since 2011. Berlin was not satisfied with being 3-0, I'll tell you that, and they went to their healthy ground game. They give it off to Alex Halkias, losing the jersey off the shoulder pad at number 34. Is going to take it 35 yards, that is, to the house. It's a 6-0 red coat advantage. I told you they had a really good ground game. Well, if Halkias is the Thunder, then Marco Scarano is the Italian Lightning. He's going to take it all the way in for 6, a 13-0 red coat lead, but we have more from this game later on. How about the defense stepping up? This guy's an absolute animal. Zach Hrubiak, ferocious, fierce, gets the sack, and you know what, Noah and Mark? He happens to be a two-way player. Kevin Dunn to Hrubiak. You can run, but you can't hide from him. There you go. The Redcoats, a 49-0 shellacking of Plainville. They have certainly proved themselves this year, and now going in at 4-0. They will be at Avon next week, while Plainville will travel to Hebron to take on Ram in another CCC battle. Guys, back to you.
Daniel, great stuff, great stuff. We're going right to Bloomfield. Check out the Warhawks undefeated against East Catholic. Ty Outlaw with some words of motivation. East Catholic trying to pull a huge shocker. On the fullback screen, that's Matt Byam. He's running by him and over him. Big gain inside the Warhawk 10-yard line. 3 plays later, misdirection for Rocco DeSimone III. And it's a 7-6. Yes, East Catholic with the lead. So we cue the sophomore Darren Bryden, the strong-arm quarterback for the Warhawks, and, well, he'll go to David Robinson. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. What a grab for Robinson. And then I want you to watch Bryden and the poise of this sophomore on the roll. He's looking for the maestro. That's Miles Davis who makes a great catch. Another touchdown for the Warhawks. They take the lead. They're going to go on now, second quarter. Robinson over the middle, and wait for it. Wait for it. It's going to be a show me, Mr. Official. Thank you very much. Another 6 points on the Robinson reception, and Bloomfield rolls. 64-7 is your final. The undefeated Warhawks stay that way.
All right, let's check out Middletown at Bristol Central. Central with a chance to give Middletown its first loss of the season in this very defensive game, especially in the first half. How about the interception here by Central sophomore Deontay Ross? He wrestles away the ball, but now it's Middletown's chance to breathe some defensive fire. Devin Balkishan with the big sack. Yeah, this was the only offense we saw. Matthew Oresco with the field goal, making it 3-0. When all was said and done, it was 17-9. Middletown stays undefeated. 4-0 will get Farmington next week. Central, now 1-3, gets Maloney, a very tough Maloney team next week.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to take a quick water break, but when we come back, more football highlights for you, of course, featuring the third-ranked team in the state. Those highlights and more coming up next here on CT Sports Now. Welcome back to CT Sports Now. We're going to get into the SCC with our highlights.
Yeah, Fairfield Prep making a trip out to Sheehan. Fairfield Prep trying to get back to their winning ways. Let's get right to the action. It's 7-3 Sheehan when we pick things up, and go ahead and celebrate. The dance party's just getting started. Second quarter, Fairfield Prep trailing, but Douglas Harrison III changes that. He runs off tackle and gets the Jesuits up 9-7. Then we'll see a little Prep defense for you. Watch Henry Houghton coming in. Oh! I do not want to be on the other side of that hit. Prep will go up 16-7, get the ball back, and then Harrison goes up and over the defenders for his second touchdown of the game with 5 seconds remaining in the half. 23-7 Prep. After the halftime break, Sheehan comes out fired up trying to get back into this game. Weston Tersey, the quarterback, a nice little play action, finds Aaron Simmons, who gets behind everybody for the touchdown. That closes it to 23-14, but that's as close as it gets. Prep holds on, 23-14 to improve to 3-1. We'll have next week off before getting Cheshire. Sheehan is also 3-1. We'll have next week off as well, and then travel to Barlow.
Raise your hand if you knew East Haven was undefeated going into its home game against Xavier. We'll start things up in the late second quarter. Xavier trying to get into the end zone, but East Haven's Michael Manning, well, he's manning that free safety spot, and he makes the interception to end the threat. Now, here we go. Third quarter. First play from scrimmage is a loose football recovered by Daniel Hernandez for East Haven. Later in the drive now, Stavens, Ryan Cordova powering in. First score of the game, and East Haven would add a little bit more. And the Yellow Jackets are 4-0, Noah, 17-0 over Xavier.
Getting it done with defense. Hey, a school that can get it done with defense and offense. Another SEC team, Daniel Hand, traveling to Bridgeport tonight to cover that as one of our Sacred Heart University student contributors. Cody Jones with the highlights. Cody, this one was all Hand, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Very dominating performance there for Hand, traveling to Bridgeport to take on Harding at Lewis Memorial Field. First quarter, first play from scrimmage. Quarterback Phoenix Billings, he's going to find Ian Butler here for a 45-yard reception, as this is going to set up the offense early. As Billings is going to get it again, pass it over to Ethan Haberman, as he's going to take it to the house. Great catch there, Hand goes up 8-0. Now that Tiger offense, they're going to keep rolling in this one. Billings, well, he's going to find Butler again inside the into the end zone there, quarter of the end zone, another touchdown as they go up 16-0. Billings was a perfect 8 for 8 in the first half, and this one with 3 touchdowns. Tigers running back Christopher Bartzik, he rushes in for the Tigers here as he gets in on the action as well. That made it 24-0 at this point as Hand goes on to a big win, 51-12. They improved to 4-0 on the season, and they're going to have 2 weeks off, take on West Haven in a couple weeks. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Cody. At Bassick in Bridgeport tonight, West Haven, Jordan Berrios on the keeper. The QB goes in. Blue Devils in control late in the first quarter. We move on now, second quarter, and the defense is going to make sure that Bassick doesn't score. That's Juan Gutierrez with the pick. He sets up his buddies deep inside Bassick territory. One of his friends, Troy Nelson. That's another Blue Devils touchdown. They are up 37-0 at this point, and they will continue to pile it on. Manny Haba running it in from about 15 yards out. They've really got the, Jeff Pavino's the new offensive coordinator at West Haven. He had it, Blue Devils rolling as they take care of business over Bassick by the final of 50-6. West Haven now 3-1 on the season. 2 weeks from now, they get Daniel Hand.
We've seen some SWC teams playing well tonight. Brookfield is another one to watch, and watching them tonight against Stratford was another one of our student contributors, Ryan Sanudo, covering this game. How did it go, Ryan?
Yeah, guys, it might as well be a highlight reel for these two kids, for the running backs for Brookfield. Nicholas Henderson and Connor McVeigh, you're going to be seeing a lot of them in these highlights. Second minute of the game, run and gun offense, running back Henderson, he goes right through the middle. This will only be the beginning for the Bobcats, as you see. It's almost like, where's Waldo? Where is he? Oh, there he is. There goes Connor McVeigh, and he's off to the races for the score. That's going to be a 14-0 lead for the Bobcats, and actually you're going to see more from him in this very next highlight. Another fourth down situation, and he gets the 3-yard score, and that brings it to 21-0, and again up the middle. McVeigh had himself a career day. He ended up with 3 scores, and this is the icing on the cake. Henderson doing what he does best, and that's scoring touchdowns. He's going to glide through the defense, and there he goes. That's a touchdown, and Brookfield goes on to win by the score of 42-7, and they have their homecoming next week, and they take on New Haven, who's actually 3-0, so both undefeated teams next Friday, which is going to be a very good game. Guys, back to you.
All right, Ryan, thanks so much. More right after this. South Windsor trying to get its first victory of the season at home against the Indians of Newington, and that Newington defense looking for the football. Keenan Esau found it. The interception. Big-time return inside the South Windsor 10. And that's going to set up Dylan Nice-Fair busting over, juggling a bit. And the circus act is worth 6 points for Newington. Next possession, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Same play, same player. Nice-Fair busting over again from 3 yards out. It was 14-0 at this point, and Newington's offense did enough in this one. They had a 14-0 lead at the break and came back with one more score. Knocked off South Windsor in a good one. 20-13 is your final, Noah.
All right, we head up to Waterbury. We have two teams, Crosby and Wilby. Two teams looking for their first wins. In fact, Wilby looking for their first win since Thanksgiving of 2014. We pick up action with Wilby trailing. Cornerback Kenneth Figueroa finds Deshaun Wilson. And you know what? I don't think I want any part of tackling this guy either. He's big, and he rumbles 50 yards for the score, and the Wildcats have a 19-14 lead. Now we got less than a minute left in the first half. Crosby looking for the go-ahead score, but... and there's always a big but here.
But.
Yes, the ball comes loose, and defensive end Stephon Morris picks it up and go! With 20 seconds left in the half, he's scoring what turns out to be the clinching touchdown. Wilby does not look back from there and goes on to win at 46-14. Yes, Wilby is in the win column for the first time in like 4 years.
And that's
we'll get
why
Derby next week. Crosby will host Sacred Heart Gainer Tech. How about that?
And we put it in this spot, because it can be our play or team of the night.
How about that? It's been a
victory.
long time
Very
since
long
they'd
time.
come up with the win, but they kept battling, and then they just pulled away. And who knows? Maybe this will launch Wilby onto bigger
It's
and better
the best
things.
Friday night they've had in the fall in over almost 4 years.
Isn't that something?
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
amazing.
something? So we'll see. We'll see what they do from here. Listen, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank our very talented crew here at CT Sports Now, the ones you see on camera and the ones you don't, who are running the studio in the control room. Thanks for tuning in. And what do we say, Mark?
Enjoy Connecticut, everybody.